Well, I'd just like to say, and I have a comment, and I think that, hey, you got something to say it, and then we will process it. And now it is time for the response. Let's get after it. I'm Chris Cuomo. Welcome to this special edition of the Chris Cuomo Project podcast, where we are taking your comments, what you think about what it is or not is, and what you think about what I say or not say. All of it right now. Thank you for subscribing, following, watching News Nation 8 and 11 every weekday night, checking out the free agent merch, hitting us on social media, going to the YouTube channel. It's growing and the progress is showing. So let's talk about you and what you want to know.
Now we're going to do some listener calls. Damn it, no. Now we're going to do some YouTube comment questions, okay?
Why don't you get bloopers?
I keep them in all the time.
You screw up all the time and you're a pro.
I put them in. Okay, here's some YouTube comments. This is from your recent interview.
Are these real?
These are all real.
All right.
These are real.
Because, he's funny, so like he makes shit up just to kind of hurt my feelings.
These are real as rain. I couldn't write this type of stuff. Some of it's cruel, some of it's unusual. I would never come up with that on my own.
It's good that this is what he wants you to hear, though.
But these aren't so much in that vein right now. This is about your video about the game, the game that politics and the media, etc. Dolphin Ride 5157 wants to know, or writes, I'm an independent but lean towards the left because I see them as being more in tune with reality and the average American. I know I could be wrong, but when most Republicans support Trump, a total criminal/demagogue in my opinion, surely they can't be on the right side.
Okay. Here's what I think you're missing. You're not wrong because it's subjective. It's about how you choose to feel. And that's not like some psychobabble new age bullshit. That's reality. You're going to feel how you decide to feel about things. That may be a function of what you decide to let in to influence how you feel, but again, we're in the same place. You have to separate, and I know this will be dissatisfying or unsatisfying to many of you, but that's okay. Just hear it out. Separate why they support Trump from the support of the man himself. Why? It's not that Trump supporters are blind or to his flaws, weaknesses, deficiencies, or that they are stupid or too simple to see it. Now, that may be true about some percentage, as it is some percentage of all supporters of anyone. Are there more when it comes to Trump? I don't know. You'd have to figure it out. But you must separate that idea from the I'm so angry. I'm so angry at the system. I'm so afraid of my prospects and that I believe things are being taken, things are being forced on me, things are being changed that should not be changed or in ways that should not be changed, or the changes themselves are scary. I don't have the power, and these people who do are putting it on me, and they're threatening my way of life and my family and my options and my dreams. And I don't know what to do about it. And then comes along someone who says, oh, I know the game and you're right, but I can stop it and change it because they need me and they can't buy me. They can't hurt me because I'm strong and I'm rich and I'm powerful and I'm famous and I hate the people that you hate and I will change these things. Nobody has ever accused Donald Trump of being a virtuous, scholarly, intelligent, sophisticated, learned leader. He is an agent for grievance and animus. He is a disruptor. And he has become an agent for people who want to fight back. They are not wrong to feel the way they feel. The challenge is for whatever you're supporting to be more appealing to their interests than he is and what he's offering. It is not about censoring his ideas or what you don't agree with or you don't like. It's about challenging those ideas, exposing those ideas, and being better and having better than those ideas. So you're independent, you break left. Okay. Anyone who supports Trump can't be right. That's wrong. They may have made a poor choice in who the agent for their interests should be. But that again comes back to you and offering them something better. And yeah, that's really hard, and the negative works and demagoguery works. Yeah, welcome to politics. Welcome to human persuasion. Welcome to humanity. We operate from a place of fear and self-interest and protection. So it's hard. It's hard, right? But everything worthwhile in life is. But don't throw all of the people who support Trump in the same basket. It's a mistake.
From the game video, JVB5590 writes, Mr. Cuomo, please do a video series on reading and interpreting law. You could teach us a lot.
You don't need me for that. You don't need me for that. You are a critical thinker if you practice critical thinking. Read again, think, look up words that you don't know, Google ideas, or click on the links within those things that explain concepts that are within something. The law is not code. You can figure it out. You got to be curious, and you have to be on guard to not let other people tell you what things mean and just accept it. Question, why? Or is there another side to this? Well, that's very frustrating. It's exhausting. It's easier to just listen to Bill O'Reilly and feel every way he tells me to feel. Okay. But then you're not a critical thinker.
This is along those same lines for the same episode. William T. Swanson, 4861, writes, what a load of BS, false conflation, and minimizing the dangers of Trump.
There is exaggeration and hyperbole in what you're saying. When you oppose something, all of a sudden it's always very dangerous. This is the most important election. We're going to lose the democracy. You guys are getting baited into a binary zero-sum battle of extreme ideas and potential outcomes. I don't know if you see it, but it's there. And it doesn't mean that the two sides are equal for both of them to be part of the problem. And I hear all the time, okay, Chris, fine, but this is too important. We just have to keep Trump out, which, by the way, is their same cell mechanism about the left, just so you know, is I get it, Trump sucks, but he's a total jackass, but we have to get Biden out of there. He's an agent of the bed, and he's being bought and sold, or he's got dementia, or he's an agent or a stooge for the crazy left. They say the same thing. Why? Because you guys are in a battle of the fringes. You are magnified minority perspectives. And the frustration for me is that this country is largely united on all the things that matter. That's why the fastest growing population in the electorate is what? People who refuse and reject identification as Democrat or Republican. What does that tell you? Tap into that. And it's not about conflation, and it's not about false equivalency. The party system is killing us. We have to do better. And you may agree with that, but then say, yeah, but now. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And we have to agitate. We have to talk about it. And that's not being done to help Trump. And I don't think it's as simple as saying, well, anything that works to not help the Democrats is destructive to democracy. I don't agree with that.
This is from your video about unidentified flying objects and the UFO hearings. J407 writes, the problem with saying they wouldn't be able to keep it a secret is that people have come out and nobody believes them.
That's true-ish, right? We saw them in the hearings. We've had them on News Nation. But they haven't given us the receipts, as we say these days. We haven't had this one is from Uranus. That has not come out yet. So we don't know, but simply don't believe. It's not as simple as we don't believe what has been demonstrated. My concern about this is not little green men, not to trivialize the possibility of the existence of other life. I'm open to that. Why wouldn't I be? There's such an arrogance of saying, no, it's impossible. This is about transparency, and this is about the government reporting to you the bases for their determinations of what you get to know and do not. Oh, yeah, but national defense. Listen, that assumes that the only way to secure advantage and protection is for people to know nothing about what you could do to protect yourself. And that is one way of looking at it. But what about Star Wars with Reagan and how that changed the political environment in the Cold War because of what he made into propaganda about how amazing our new defense system was and how it could be an offense system and how it changed the perceived balance of power? There is a very legitimate case to be made that you should show off what you can do. That's why, fringe nuclear actors want you to know that they're getting close. Why? Because you're going to give them more respect. That's why. And sometimes peace through strength, right, is a compelling argument, which is why I happen to believe this idea that you can't mess with Putin because he has nukes. And you just saw this puppet leader of Russia the other day say, well, if the Ukraine's offensive was successful, we'd have to use a nuclear device. They want to saber rattle, let them. I don't see any problem with pushing up on them and letting them see what the price is for what they're going to do. And I don't know that history shows you that when pushed, Putin has doubled down and done worse. I don't know that. I think that the record is more reflective of him backing off when confronted in a real way with strength versus strength. And he really just exposes weakness and kind of runs until he's forced to stop. We haven't seen really anything but that. So, transparency matters. Knowing why they don't tell us and what they know and what they can share matters. Whether it's unidentified flying objects, or the Bidens, or the Trumps, or whatever they're investigating, you have a right to know things. They work for you. I love having AG1 as a partner. Why? Because they've got it right. They are the daily foundational nutrition supplement, whole body health that I use, okay? I give it a try because I want to take care of myself. I want to perform at my best. I drink AG1 because it's easy, tastes fine, and it's got everything I need, all right? I saw that a lot of people who are high performers that I respect were using AG1 as part of their plan. And, you got to start foundation first, and that's going to be what you're putting in your body. And all the different supplements I had, D with this, the B12, there's the 6, I can't take those together, and the absorption, and this with food, and this later in the day. AG1 did all the science for us. So it's just one scoop in the morning, one and done. So if you want to take ownership of your health, how about a little freebie along with it? Try AG1 and you get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. drinkag1.com/CCP. Go to drinkag1.com/CCP. Are you getting any calls? Anybody calling for you?
Maybe not the calls, but
Oh,
I have a nice little section for you I think you'll enjoy.
He's Amish.
Amish? Why would I be Amish? I'm operating all this electrical
You
equipment.
tell me you're Amish.
I'm not an Amish
Can you
man.
prove that you're not an Amish man?
Yes.
Look how upset he got. I love when our boy Ott, if that's his real name, is in high dudgeon.
Of all things to call, you call me Amish. That is a very unusual.
Really stung. Have you
As
been
I'm
called
wearing
Amish before?
headphones. No, I've not. No, I've not been called Amish before.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive.
No.
Why? What about me makes me appear to be Amish?
What about you makes you not appear to be Amish?
See, this is not a good, I feel like this is not a good argument. And this is the kind of thing that you rail against on your own channel. These like baseless accusations.
Well, okay. You look as though your clothes could be homemade. You have the pallor of somebody who is usually hiding from the sun with a big brimmed hat.
Yeah, I'm a technology producer.
There's a little bit of an awkwardness to you that could be defined as being new to this society.
I think you're defining awkwardness based on how you want people to behave. The Amish people might have rules for their own demeanor.
Oh, they do.
Okay, so why would you ascribe your beliefs onto
All
somebody
right, I
like
get
me
it.
if I
You're
were
not Amish, but tell me this. What did you do for Rumspringa?
I went to a Dave Matthews concert.
Only an Amish guy would answer that way.
You know, Chris, I really love your show. I loved you when you were on CNN. However, you giving oxygen to Donald Trump's, like, his woes, and he's such a victim, it's kind of becoming ad nauseum. You have Bill O'Reilly on, who constantly talks about how Trump's going to be like the front runner and blah, blah, blah. Honest to God, I would rather vote for Tim Scott. Honest to God, I'm so sick of Trump and all his baggage and like the grifting of like that whole family. Why are we not talking about Ivanka Trump and like Jared Kushner getting $2 billion from Saudi Arabia? I'm so sick of them. I'm so over it. I voted Republican for like 4 different terms, and I am so disgusted with the Republican Party. I am done with them. So take that to your viewers. This is someone that voted 4 times for a Republican, and I will never vote for one again. Donald Trump is a disgrace to our country, and he's a threat to our democracy and the security of our national security. Have a great day.
One, if you're sick of it, then don't traffic in it. If you've had enough of Trump, then vote for Tim Scott. Focus on him, focus on another candidate. If what you want is for me to say more that's negative about Trump and his problems, well, then I'm feeding into the same dynamic of Trump mania that you're saying you're sick of ad nauseum to the point of illness. Look, Bill O'Reilly is a very polarizing personality. I get it, okay? That's okay, because what I want is people who put out ideas that I can check and that you can see for what they are and make your own judgments. So if you are sickened by what he says, okay. And if you are heartened by what he says, okay. It's food for thought either way. Oh yeah, but he has an outsized presence. Look, that's the judgment for my team and my bosses to make and to be reflected in the ratings and resonance of the program. If it tanks, we'll rethink it. Balancing how it does with the value we think it provides. I will have people on the left who will have regular appearances on my show as well. Remember, I'm just building the show. I'm just figuring out what works and how. I'm not going to have like a counterbalance to Bill. The truth and fair analysis is the counterbalance to Bill. But I will have other voices that are very decidedly one way as well. Interestingly, you know, Bill doesn't see himself that way. He sees himself as down the middle, and then he'll say, and the progressive agenda is the most dangerous thing in the history of America. But he thinks that doesn't make him righty when he's never said anything like that about any conservative agenda. Anyway, Bill is Bill. He's been very successful, and he's been very helpful to me, and I appreciate that. I get how you feel, but be careful not to be what you oppose. If all you bash Trump more is not getting past Trump, just think about that as well. And I wish you well, and thank you for giving us a chance.
Chris, why can't we get rid of the Electoral College? This is Neva. I would really like to see us get rid of the Electoral College. That's what's really hurting us. And I love your show. Bye.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Can we? Of course. Need a constitutional amendment. Now, I've said in the past, I don't believe we could get a constitutional amendment on anything. I don't think we could get a constitutional amendment passed about the name of this country. I mean it. I do believe that you would have momentum in blue states to be like, wait a minute, America is named after Amerigo Vespucci. I know some people think it's otherwise. Look, everything I look up, you think it's a coincidence that the guy's name was Amerigo Vespucci? He found the proper land that we're on right now. And, you know, I know there were people here already. But that then it went from Amerigo to America. I don't think it's a coincidence. But anyway, unless we got away from the idea that it was named to resonate with Vespucci, you don't think there's a chance that they're going to find out that Vespucci did things that all these other guys were doing as a product of their time and how they invaded and raided and did what they did? So, yes, you can get rid of the Electoral College. Should you get rid of the Electoral College? There's a lot of energy towards a yes on that. But I would ask you to consider why it was created, to make sure that the small states don't get forgotten. Now, we have a tendency, especially on the left, well, that's not fair, left and right, I'm just thinking about the left right now with a lot of changes with policing that they said they wanted. That's the most recent wave of rash change, even based on the right interests. We have a tendency to throw the baby out with the bathwater, meaning what? Let's bail reform, okay? You don't need a constitutional amendment for that. It's done state by state. Now, the left says there are too many black, poor people that get stuck in jail even when they haven't committed crimes, and the money thing is a true imbalance. So why not just make the same harsh rules that apply to them apply to everybody and raise the limits of what it takes to get out of jail so that you got more people stuck in there? Well, why wasn't that the answer? Why was the answer to let people out when you're not really sure whether or not they're going to reoffend or that they're going to come back, and take away the discretion of judges to make those determinations? Did that really make it better? So far, it seems like nope, because you got a lot of Democrat mayors running away from that Democratic-driven concept, and they want change because there are too many people who are getting back out or not going for their court dates. So well-intentioned, we didn't want it to be racially imbalanced, but we made it easier for everybody instead of just making it equally tough on everybody. Similarly, what do you do about the Electoral College? You want the small states to have a stake, but now you have a stake situation where you have the Senate is 50-50, basically, right? And you have about a third of the country's population has half the power because of everybody getting the 2 senators. So the Senate winds up being way overweighted to states that don't have a lot of people in it. And the population centers, therefore, have its power diluted. Is that what the Electoral College really wanted? Probably not. But we end where I began. Can you change it? Yes, but you need a constitutional amendment.
Hey, Chris. This is Omar. I currently live in Washington, D.C., and I got a question for you. I'm someone who's very passionate about news and entertainment. And what advice do you have for someone like me who, is interested in having his own show someday and kind of like to do what you're doing, like basically educate and inform and also entertain, but also struggle with like self-doubt and sometimes feel like it might work for some people or a lot of people can do it, but I can't, and feeling like, I'm just not good enough to have my own show. It's just so competitive. And what advice do you have for someone like me who also has a very unique voice, who just sometimes also fears just speaking my mind because it'll just alienate so many people who I feel like I need in my corner in order to become successful, even though I don't live to really please anybody. It's more for myself, but it just seems like you kind of have to go along with a certain crowd of people in order to get ahead in this business. And I just think that's wrong. And it's like, how do I, combat that? How do I, find a way to get through that? Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.
Omar, I love you, man. We are the same. Boy, are you human. Wait until you listen to the Cuomo on the Couch episode where I talk about the internal and the external and the challenges for me on that. I start on my side in it. Listen, let's keep first things first, okay? If you want to do something, do it. Don't talk about it, do it. Start a show. Now, failing to plan is planning to fail, right? So how do we take the trite but true? How do we take the cliche and have it apply to us? Look at what works. Look at what you like. Look at what you don't like. Look at what you like, but what you would do differently. Look at what you like, but how would it be personal to you? What do you add to it? What is Omar that he or she that you're watching and like is not? Find a space. Pursue what you are passionate about in that space. Start your own thing. Test out the ideas. See what works, see what doesn't. See what seems to be working with everybody else. Talk about what is trending. Talk about what is resonating. Talk about what is buzzy. Figure out why it matters to you and what you believe others would agree with or disagree with. It is okay to offend. Then the bigger thing is, well, I have to go along to get along, but on the inside, I mean, that's called life, brother. That's called life. You got to balance what matters to you with what matters to wherever you are and whatever system or dynamic you're in that matters, right? But you're negotiating that in every relationship and every situation in your life all the time. Let's go see this movie. That movie sucks. Yeah, but you love whoever it is that's asking you to go to it, so you go. Well, but I'm caving to something that, yeah, it's called compromise. Welcome to life. So you got to balance these things. And you do that already. You know, when someone's saying something, you want to say, man, that is so stupid, but you don't say it. Or they're saying something and they're in a position of authority, but you do have to check it because it's just wrong, even to the point of being a risk to whatever you guys are in as an endeavor together. Or you got to defend yourself. You got to make these judgments all the time. Don't play scared, people say. Then you're not a human being. Fear versus danger or being scared, scary things. Danger is real. Fear has a component of choice. Now, some of it is automatic. It's in our lizard brain, meaning what? If you go like this to me, what do? Well, why do I do that? Why? Well, it's an involuntary reaction. I'm protecting myself, right? That's lots of evolution there, right? That's why my favorite and I believe the best self-defense system ever is Tony Blauer's SPEAR system. SPEAR is an acronym. You can look it up. Blauer's, B-L-A-U-E-R. B-L-A-U-E-R, yeah. You flinch, go hit me. And this winds up being your fighting posture. You start like this. Why? Because this is what you're going to do naturally anyway, so you're a step ahead. And it's really hard to hit somebody when they're in this position. You're not really going to be able to hurt me if you think about it. It's hard to get through the middle, this center line, moving off to the side. You're going to come up here. What's the point? You got to protect yourself. You have to balance the exigencies, the interests, the wants, the musts. But this should not stifle your ambition. If you want to, then do. Try. Fail. Succeed. Own. Give yourself a chance, okay? Don't have what we call paralysis by analysis, all right? At some point, if you want it, try it. Believe in yourself.
In order to avail the discount, please call back at 844-213-9278 from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you, and have a great day.
Why are you doing this?
I'm trying to save you money.
Why did you think that's funny?
Because I don't think it's funny. I'm trying to save you money. I don't think it's funny.
Is it like an Amish joke? Is this what you people think is funny?
Okay, can I tell a brief story about working on this program? We were doing an interview once where before the guest arrived, the internet wasn't working, and it's because you didn't pay your internet bills. So we couldn't get online and connect to the guest. This offer from Comcast sounds like a great way to save 50% on whatever you're paying right now. So you might want to consider that so that way we can keep these pipes open and have these wonderful guests and listener calls and comments like this.
Do you know that we are in the area where Comcast could service us?
I don't live here. I have no idea.
Do you know that the pricing for Comcast is less than we are paying right now?
If it is, that sounds great. I mean, that's what this woman was saying a moment ago. It sounds like they have a great deal if you switch to your cable provider, internet provider.
The automated voice that is telling us to switch to a system that you don't know if it's available in this area or this building nor do you know whether or not the pricing even exists because she didn't give a number, let alone comparing it to our own other than saying 50% less. That is called a sales pitch.
I'm a conduit. I am passing the messages on to you.
Is conduit another word for oaf or Amish?
Oaf? You would an oaf? I thought an oaf was like a Shrek type guy, like a
Yes.
bigger.
That's I think he's a troll.
Okay, well, I'm
But
not
you
an
are not a
oaf. I'm
troll.
not. This Amish thing is very perplexing. Again, MacBook, phone.
There's
lots
more to
of
being
technology.
Amish than just not being into technology.
Yeah, my barn doesn't fit in this room.
Your barn. So you have one.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Oh,
I'm not an Amish
sorry.
man. My wife is not an Amish woman. I do
Let's
not have
not
a
bring her
butter
into
churn.
this, all right? I don't even know if she knew you were Amish when she met you.
This bit is perplexing. I do not understand this bit.
So you made your phone calls, and I address what I can, and I appreciate all of it more than you may know. Thank you for subscribing, following, checking out News Nation, 8 and 11 p. Eastern every weekday night. The free agent merch. Remember, I'm gathering up that money, and we're going to give it away. If you watched the Crime Town Hall, you saw one of the first recipients of our largesse. I'll see you soon. Thank you for calling.